Welcome everybody, it's Phil Beckwith, the professional painter and decorator, back with you. Now if you're watching this video, maybe you've come into this video from a link from the previous video where I was painting Doris the door. Sun's on it, can't complain of the weather in the UK at the minute when the sun's out. Bottom section of this door, painted in. Paint you've probably never even heard of, Benjamin Moore Scuff X. Now previous video, I say it's over my shoulder, 2 coats. What did I give it? 4.5 out of 5. Brilliant paint, covered for 2, little bit see-throughy, very slight over the black, understandable. Said in the last video, I've had no sponsorship, I've had no money changing hands, but a few paint reps have been in touch, told me they've seen some of the videos that I've been doing, seen how I've been testing paint products, mainly white, glossers, satins, eggshells, and they've reached out to me, which is great. Thank you very much for reaching out. Now Benjamin Moore reached out to me, Ben Adams, we've tried that paint down there, and as I said in the last video, I wanted to compare that against Dulux, because Dulux have been in touch with me. One of their main customer service agents had said they'd seen the videos and they've sent me a few vouchers for a few of their water-based paints, one of which we're trying today, and it's the Dulux Trade Diamond Satinwood. Now, got to be honest, we've not really used Dulux for a number of years. A few problems that we came up against with vinyl mats, the flashing, weren't happy with it, and if I say a few years ago, it might be 7 or 8, we moved over to Tikkurila. Yeah, I don't want to go into that. If you want to hear a bit more about that, we can talk about it till the cows come home. Weren't happy with the Dulux paints, Dulux emulsions. If say picture framing, showing roller marks in paint, well, you know, when you painted the ceiling and you look back and you can see the roller marks, wet edges were kept, you can imagine we did it properly, so we moved away. Yeah, we moved on to Tikkurila. Anti-reflex 2, brilliant ceiling paint, that's another story. But anyway, going on and on, this won't be a 20-minute video, will it? Dulux reached out to me and said, Phil, you've got to try some of our paints, mainly off the back of the video that you'll see there. I was talking about the Sikkens BL paints, the Saturas, the Rubel Saturas BL, the best paints you can ever buy, because they've don't do it anymore. Now Dulux / Axco Noble have the rights for Sikkens. Now customer service agent got in touch with me, I've been in touch with him over other things as well, but they said, look, try some of our paints, you'll probably think that they're very similar to what the Sikkens used to be, and so I'm doing it. Today I'm going to try the Diamond Satinwood. On another day I'm going to try the quick dry Satinwood, that'll be another video. And then I've also got to be trying, which will be hand in glove, the quick dry undercoat, which is the number 1. I tried to explain this on the last video of the Benjamin Moore. You got a number 1 and then a number 2 paint, which has got a label over it. But we'll try the gloss, but that'll be another video. So keep watching, press that bell, subscribe to us so the bell rings when you see a new notification of a new video. Yeah, riveting. But yeah, the main principle of this video is we're going over that door that I painted in the chalk paint. Did exactly the same with what Benjamin Moore was, 2 coats. I wanted a two paint coat. Oh, I can't even get it out. Oh, dear me, how can I explain it? I'm wanting a 2 coat finish. Now what does a 2 coat finish? Benjamin Moore's a 2 coat finish, and as I explained that, I mean, I'm looking at it now, it's lovely and solid. Over the black and over the cream, that's actually a cream colour. The 2 coat finish, it's covered. If you're a bit unsure over the black, you give it another coat. The Satinwood, the Dulux Diamond Satinwood, again, is another 2 coat finish process. It does say on the back of the tin, if you've got a vast contrasting colour of change, i.e. black, you can put the quick dry undercoat on first. I've got that as an option, but I don't want to try it doing a 3 coat process. I want to see what it's like actually as a 2 coat process. That's what I'm going to do. So without any more waffling on, I'm going to get this paint mixed up. I'm going to paint that top section with one coat. We'll see what it's like, let it dry, we'll come back and we'll give it a second coat and we'll see what it's like compared to that Benjamin Moore. Now if you want to know about more videos where I've been Benjamin Moore, more videos, they're all spelled differently, there's an E on the end here. Check that link out there for product testing of paints, and you'll see a long, well, quite a few videos where I've been testing paints. See what you think. You tell me, please tell me, what do you think is the best water-based paint that's covering for two? Or shall we say we put the primer stroke undercoat on, then two top coat finishes? But we want to see what these are like for a two coat finish. Can we do it? Of course we can. Back with you in a bit. Just the usual, we've got the Wix brush. I'm not thinning the paint because, as I've said in previous videos, we want to see what it's like straight out the tin. If we get a coat on and we think, oh, it needs a bit thinning, we can address that subsequent coats. But for now, we're going to do the correct principles of painting a door. Might be a video there, properly painting a door. Mouldings, panels, yeah, you know, let's crack on. I've got a nickname. They call me Honest Phil. I don't know whether that's because I speak without opening my mouth, or is it I speak without putting my brain into gear. Sun's on it. I know the sun's out, but it's not red hot. I'm only in a t-shirt, it's not red hot. Wind's blowing. I have to say, I'll move the door around in a minute. Application of that, I struggled. I'm not saying I struggled because I couldn't paint it. It was pulling. It felt very... No, I've got my cameraman behind me saying rubbery. It's not rubbery. It's more of a... It was pulling. It was hard work to apply it. Now, going back to when I did the Benjamin Moore, and I know it wasn't sun on it like this is, but that went on a dream, and it was going over the same sorts of paints. It was going over that chalky Deco style Aldi chalk paint. Now this Dulux, a brand leader, I'll say Dulux, a brand leader, I struggled actually applying that. Now I know it's the first coat, don't judge a book until you've read it. Yeah, I think that's what you say. Don't judge a book by it until you've read it, but the second coat will probably go better on itself after that's dried, and I've got a sneaky suspicion. Blinking out, recoat time 6 hours. Dulux, come on, 6 hours. No professional wants to be waiting 6 hours to recoat. If you've got a small room, you want to be recoating within 2 hours. So I'm going to put that as a negative. 6 hours recoat time for that. That's fine if you're getting it coated up by the end of the day and then you're actually recoating next day. But come on, in the real world, do we want to be waiting 6 hours? No. Right, I've just noticed that. It is water based, so it dries quick. That, I won't say I'm that impressed at the minute. Let's give it a bit longer, let it dry, let's come back and give it another coat. I don't think it'll be waiting 6 hours. If that's dry after about 4, we'll see what it's like. We'll see. I might even leave it till tomorrow, give it the 6 hours, but so far, you can't see it because the sun's on it. That hasn't got brilliant coverage. And I know on the back of the can it says put a coat of the water-based quick drying undercoat underneath. I've tried Benjamin Moore, that went for 2. You'd only put a 3rd coat over that if you were really being, I don't want to use the word anal, I don't want to use the word pedantic or anything like that. But I'm looking at these Benjamin Moore covers. Anybody think a drink? Benjamin Moore covers over that black and that cream for 2. That diamond satinwood, it's not brilliant for 1. Let's see what it's like in a bit. Oh, tomorrow. It'll just come back once it had dried off a bit. When I was trying to explain about the application, like pulling in, it was like sticky paint. You think, not like an oil-based paint. You'd actually say to yourself, do I want a drop of water in it just to make it flow a bit better? But then that's going to lose that coverage that you're wanting to get. Opacity stroke coverage, you know what I mean. That, let's see if we can get in. I don't know whether we can. Can you see that? I don't know whether you can see it. I'll explain it. If you were blind, I'd obviously have to explain it with the description, and my description is going to say that's not covered. It's a poor coverage. It's grinny. I can still see a bit of the cream coming through. You can't see it because you're focused on me, but I can still see the cream coming through. It's like translucent, not transparent, translucent. It's like opaque could be more solid, but I can see through it. The black I can see through. Now, looking at my Benjamin Moore below, that's had 2 coats. If you look really close, you'd probably say you want that 3rd coat, which that's what I said earlier. Being really anal, you'd give it a 3rd because you were going over the black. But over the cream, that cream that I'd got down here, that's covered for 2. That hasn't covered very well for 1. And the blacks, not good at all. So, as I said, let's give it a fair shot. We'll give that another coat. I'll probably, let's give it the 6 hours. So I'll give that a coat tomorrow morning and we'll see what it's like. But I'm disappointed, and as I've just said a few minutes ago, 6 hours recoat time. You having a laugh? Really? You having a laugh? You having a laugh? Six hours recoat? You are having a laugh. I'm going to say morning chillings. You saw it fade out. What was I talking about? 6 hours drying time. So, yeah, I'll say true to my word. I've literally left it overnight. It's now about 9:30 in the morning. I've not got the sun in my eyes like I was yesterday because that was a mid-afternoon video. So I'm here, back. Let's get another coat on this door. But let me show you what it looks like after one coat. Am I impressed? Right, what do I think of it? You know, we've had the black, we've had the cream. It shows through, doesn't it? And as I was explaining yesterday, it goes on quite sticky. Like not quite like treacle, but not easy to apply. I won't say it's the best paint to apply. Whereas, because we're comparing this against the Benjamin Moore Scuff X, if we can just get you back down and pan you down. The Scuff X under here, that's had 2 coats over the same base colours, as you know. Now, that does look like it has covered, but I'd probably give it a 3rd coat because we've gone over such dark colours. The cream's fine, it's gone over. That's covered for 2. so we're quite happy with that. Over the blacks, as we all know, we need an undercoat stroke primer 3, but on the whole for 2 coats that's good. That for 1 coat, let's bring you back up, isn't brilliant. Now I'm going to give it a 2nd coat and let's see if it's any better. Sun's not on it, and I know yesterday it wasn't hot but the sun was out, and that can affect how it applies. But I'd done the same sort of conditions. It was a warm day when I did Benjamin Moore. That went on lovely. So I don't know what to say. Not brilliantly impressed with it, but let's crack on. Keeping with the arrow with the brush. This yeah, the Diamond Satinwood does feel quite hard. That's why we're comparing on the same Doris the Door Scuffex against Dulux Diamond Satinwood. So let's go through the motions. Well, alrighty. I'm going to give me, you know what they call me, Honest Phil, the professional painter and decorator. I'll just give me our first, well, let's call it first stroke second view on applying this. Went on better. Obviously going on itself, it flowed out. Oh, I don't want to say better that you think, oh, it's brilliant. It's not. It did go on better. We weren't going over that chalky finish that we had yesterday. So ease of application was improved. That's how I'll put it. Is it an easy paint to apply? I've applied easier paints. The Benjamin Moore went on a dream, and that was going over the same chalk paint. The first application of the Benjamin Moore was great. Second, even better. And I'll keep repeating myself. That Benjamin Moore, I would give it a 3rd coat over the blacks. Now this, over the cream, again, this is the first, this is still wet. Over the cream, the middle panels, at the moment in a wet state, that looks quite nice. The black around the edges, because this is where the testing is. If we've got unusual colours we're going over, what's it like? Main flats don't look too bad. Where you've got the transition of the rails, well, that's actually a kick rail down at the bottom, but we've changed the door around. You've got a style on the side where we've gone across and then blended back in. A bit grinny. So what do I expect over black? I'd expect that, fair enough. Panels alright. It doesn't look too bad. Shall we see what it's like when it's dry? Let's give it an hour or so, and then let's do the full roundup, because it is what it is. Right, let's give a bit of a roundup on this. I've been in that big breakfast. Give it an hour. Give it about an hour. It's dried off nicely so I can touch it. Moved it round so got nice highlights from the sun, but you can actually see the door. Now, as I said earlier, it's grinning on the black, we know that. It does say on the back of the can, and I'll repeat myself on this. Put the quick drying primer stroke undercoat on first if you've got fast colour changes. That's fair enough. A little bit grinny on the cream colour, whereas the Benjamin Moore that's below, it's not really, it's not grinning at all. I have to say the Benjamin Moore satin finish, lovely. I'll try and get you down. It's a lovely finish, hard finish. But don't forget, this is diamond. Should be a hard finish. That's why we're comparing the two. Trying to do oranges and oranges and not apples and pears. But on the whole, I don't want to say I'm not impressed. I think it was a hard work paint to apply. I don't think it was particularly easy. And looking at this, a 2-coat finish, it's not. You'd be doing 3 coats, and that's even with me just looking at this cream. That would I be happy with it if it was in my own house? And this is why I do the testing. If it was in my own house and I did this, would it pass for 2 coats? I don't think it would. On that note, let's just put it in perspective. A litre tin of this, about 30 quid. Benjamin Moore, it's not, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Benjamin Moore, down there, they're just under a 4 litre tin. Now the equivalent Scuff X satin, it's about 108 quid. Now if you break that down, 30 quid for a litre, times that by 4, 4 3's 12, 120 pound for 4 litres of that. I know it don't work out like that. You'll probably find a 5 litre can of this is less than 100 quid. But they're on a par for the price, aren't they? What do you reckon? Let's leave it at that. What do you think? Have you tried both of these? This one, I'm not saying why would you use it, because there'll be a reason why people use it, but I'll get you in. I'm not that impressed. Going forward, if you're watching this and I've already done the video, I'm going to compare the diamond Satinwood against the quick drying Satinwood. That'll be my next video. So we'll compare the two. We'll do a like for like next to each other, see what we think of it that way. But that against Scuff X, I won't say you can't compare them. Scuff X hands down. If you haven't tried it, try it. But if you've tried this, what have you tried? Because I won't say that's the best satin hard wearing finish that you could go for. I'd even say Bedek MSP, and some people will be cringing for me saying this, a soft satin stroke soft gloss. You've seen the videos. I'll do my left shoulder, so it's above my shoulder. You've seen the video. Was it there? I can't remember. Bedek sticks to virtually anything and it's a rock hard finish. You've seen the video on the UPVC panel. There's no problem using that inside. Would I prefer to use that than this? Yes. On that note, thanks for listening. Subscribe, comments. Might be some videos just there to follow on with. But thanks. We'll see you on the next one.